Hey guys, I'm just going to do a quick video now just to show you a few of the ins and outs when using Inventor. We're going to aim to draw a shape very similar to this, and I'm just going to show you a few different ways to do it. But first of all, it's pretty important that we learn how to create this page to begin with. When you start your computer up and you click on the icon for Inventor, you might get a few different screens that pop up and it might be a little bit confusing. The main thing is that you just need to go up here and there'll be a little page like that, and if you left click on it, we need to make sure that we're drawing in a metric standard template. Now these other icons you see down here I'm going to cover in another video, but for us to model today we're going to go standard and we'll make sure we're in a metric template. For a while there, I used to always just click on new and it used to take me to metric, and then every now and then I was getting imperial templates, so now I always make sure that I'm getting metric from the start. If I click on a new sketch, which is what you'll see here, start 2D sketch, if I left click on that, it will bring up all the different planes that I can draw on. For now guys, I'm not going to get too involved in these planes because I want to make a very short video, but it's just important that when you are drawing a series of parts that need to come together, it makes it a lot easier if you always select the same plane. So I'm going to select this one here, which is our XZ axis, I think. Not too worried, but I'm just going to select that one and I'll use it every time for this demo. So that has selected that plane or piece of paper if you like, and I now have my drawing sheet. So across the top here you'll see a few different things. I'll explain them as we go, and at the moment I've gone from my model page to my sketch page because I'm in a drawing. I can now choose to use a line, so left click on line, and if I left click in the center there, is always a good place to start. I can draw a line two different ways. I can either pull my mouse out to where I'd like the line, and I can figure out what degrees I want, and I can left click and try and lock it in that way. The other way I can do it is I can say that I can drag my mouse in the direction that I'd like to go, and I can simply type in a measurement, and you can't see it in the dialog box there because something going on with my computer, but I've typed in 150 and I can press enter. So there's my 150 mil, and I dragged in the direction that I wanted to go, and I can then finish off my drawing. It's very important that when we do a sketch, that if we're trying to extrude a shape, that we close the shape. So if I was to simply go like this and finish my sketch, I'm leaving a gap here, and the computer will have a hard time extruding this shape. So I'm going to close my shape now and go finish sketch. So it needs to be completely fenced in as such. So if I go finish sketch, I now have a profile that I can work with. To use the zoom functions and the viewing functions, all I'm doing is pushing the middle mouse wheel down and moving my mouse. That will give me a pan action. If I hold down shift and the middle mouse wheel, that will give me an orbit function. So I've got my profile, which is pretty cool. I can then click on extrude, and don't be alarmed if the first time you do this your computer looks like this and you're thinking, gee, that didn't look like the example. Just look for this panel. Sometimes it's over here or wherever. Just look for it and click on the down arrow, and you will find all the different functions you can use for extrude. If you're extruding and the computer can't figure out the profile you'd like to extrude, because maybe there's two different options there or something, often happens in a complicated sketch, click on profile and then choose the profile you'd like to extrude, and then it's here where I can type in the measurement for the extrusion. So I've just typed in 50, we'll see what that looks like. And I have my shape. From here, I could then select this surface and create another sketch if I like, by just going up to Start 2D Sketch. There's another shortcut to do that, and I'll show you that in a second. And here I can simply put in whatever shapes I want and either cut them through the shape or add them to it. So I'm going to just draw a circle here, and on purpose I didn't put in the measurement that I wanted. So let's say I wanted 40. I can do that later on. So I can do that by going to Dimension, selecting what I'd like to dimension with the left mouse click, and then I can just type in 40 and enter. So I can then also use this to say, well, I would like that to be 40 mil from the edge, and that should work there. And then I can even say that I would like, click on dimension, I want the center of this to be 100 mil down. So it's easier sometimes just to place the shape that you want on your drawing and then come back and constrain it later on. Sometimes the computer will have a little bit of a hissy fit if you try and put too many constraints on it. So it's important that you don't over constrain your job, and it's from here that I can just make changes wherever I feel that I need to, and it will move the shape for me. So that's a pretty cool way of drawing. The same thing goes with if I was to draw a triangle, and then I want to change that to make sure it's definitely 30 degrees. Left click on that, click on the two elements that I want to dimension, and then left click my dimension there, and I can type in 30, and it will constrain it to 30 degrees. Every time you see a green tick or something up here, you won't be able to move on until you finalize it. So I'm going to go Finish Sketch, and I'm going to go Extrude, and I can click these two items, and I can either join. So I was saying add before, the computer says join, or I can cut. So it will cut through there, and the distance by default has gone to the last extrusion that I did. You can change that, or you could even just say all, and it will cut the whole way through. And I have my two shapes now. So that's a real quick video on how to get started. I'm going to do another one after this that will show you how to modify these shapes without deleting them. So hopefully that helped.